This video is sponsored by HubSpot. Today, we will cover 5 credit card rules to live by. However, these rules aren't your normal rules that you always hear about. Yes, you should always pay off your credit cards in full and on time, but that's not what we'll be talking about in this video. I wanted to cover other less common rules which I believe people should still follow. Starting with rule number 1, which is to always redeem your points within 1 year of earning them. That's because credit card companies and their partners seem to always be changing their policies around points. Unfortunately, most of the time, these changes actually devalue our hard-earned credit card currency. The most recent change was with Hyatt and how they increased the award prices for over 200 properties. That means you would need more points to book a night now than you would have just a few months ago. For example, to book a night at the Park Hyatt Zurich, you used to only need 30,000 points, but now it will cost 40,000 points per night. That 10,000 point difference converted to cash value means you are now paying $100 to even $200 more for the exact same room. Here you could see a few other Hyatt properties that will be affected by this new change. And not to make this about me, but I was literally about to apply for the Chase World of Hyatt card in a few weeks, and this news totally caught me off guard. Now I'm starting to consider prioritizing other credit cards first since the Hyatt one just got a little less desirable. Yes, points are also affected by inflation just like how the US dollar is. Your points will be more valuable now than they would be in the future. So how can you avoid your points from being devalued? Well, Hyatt, along with every other hotel, airline, or credit card company that uses a point system, will notify the public ahead of time of these changes. In this case, Hyatt made the announcement about 1 month prior to the changes officially taking effect. That means from the time of the announcement to the end of the month, you could have spontaneously booked Hyatt stays with the points you were hoarding. That way you wouldn't have been affected by the increase of award pricing. With Hyatt, you could have actually booked a stay up to 394 days in advance. But if you don't like impulsively redeeming your points, then another great way to avoid this is by using your points often. This whole concept of using your points within 1 year was brought to my attention from Chad's Money Minutes on Anthony Venture's recent live stream. Prior to hearing about this rule, I was a hoarder of points. It was just so pretty seeing my balance grow, but in reality, holding onto those points hurts me in the long run. After all, most, if not all of our value from using credit cards only comes into play when you redeem your points. However, I do understand if you're saving up a huge lump sum of points to spend it all on a once-in-a-lifetime experience, like staying at the Four Seasons Maldives. Long story short though, the longer you hold onto your points, the less valuable they will be. So use your points. Another rule that I would advise you to follow is to get more than one credit card. Just like how we talked about in another video, there is no such thing as a perfect credit card. One card to rule them all simply does not exist. If you want to maximize your everyday spend, you're going to need at least 2 to 3 credit cards to do so. Now, I'm not saying that these cards need to have annual fees. That's a whole different story. What I am saying is to find the cards that will complement or enhance your lifestyle and spending habits. Spoiler alert, you will need more than one credit card to achieve that. Yes, you do have catch-all cards like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, Amex Blue Business Plus, and even the Capital One Venture X. Those cards will earn you 1.5 to 2x points on any purchase. That's good, but it's not great. Even with cards like those, you would still want another credit card for 2 reasons. The first reason is because catch-all cards don't have high multipliers on normal spending categories. Capital One's Venture X will earn you 2x at grocery stores, but if you add the no annual fee Capital One Savor one, you would be earning 3x on those same transactions. Instantly, you will be earning more points for the exact same purchases at no extra cost to you. All you did was add another card to your wallet. Same goes for the Chase Freedom Unlimited, where at most, you could earn 3% on select everyday purchases. But if you add the no annual fee Chase Freedom Flex, you'll also be able to earn up to 5% on rotating categories throughout the year. Adding more credit cards to your arsenal will allow you to earn more credit card points. But reason number 2 why you would want more than one credit card is because you need to diversify your points. You may believe it or not, but it's not ideal to go all in with just one credit card ecosystem. That means if you only have Chase cards or only Citi cards and so on, you should listen to this. Subscribe down below. But jokes aside, what would happen if for some reason Chase shuts you down? It's not likely, but it could happen. Then all of your points and cards are trashed. Or what if you go all in one system and the bank later revamps it in a way that doesn't suit you, like with devaluations or award price increases? By having a foot in multiple systems, you minimize that risk while also having a greater optimization of your spend and greater optimization in redemption. Like, why limit yourself to just Amex transfer partners when you could take advantage of Chase transfer partners as well? The same goes for Capital One, Citi, and so on. But be careful, because this leads us to rule number 3. Everyone has a credit card limit, so it's important to find out what is yours. This rule goes hand in hand with rule number 2 because there is such a thing as a happy medium. Just like how having one credit card isn't ideal, maybe for you having 10 cards isn't ideal, or 5 cards, or even 3 cards. What is your happy medium or sweet spot? Just because a certain card or trifecta works for someone else, it doesn't mean that it will work for you. I'm curious though, do any of you have to resist or stop yourself from applying for another card because it just would be too much for you to handle? I currently have about 12 credit cards, and I think somewhere around 15 to maybe 17 cards would be my tapping out point. Having more cards than you need is detrimental for a few reasons. Going all in on one credit card system is just as bad as spreading yourself too thin across multiple systems. Doing this will take you forever to build up a solid enough amount of points since your spend is spread across so many different ways. But the bigger headache of too many credit cards is having to keep track of them and ensuring that you would get positive value every year. For some people, remembering to use benefits and credits to justify the annual fee on just one card is already too much. Now imagine if that person had to focus on multiple different annual fee cards just like that. Keeping track of all those cards, all those benefits, and all of those multipliers is a multitasking disaster. And multitasking when it comes to credit cards or even work is never a good thing. In fact, multitasking can reduce our productivity by up to 40%. That's why HubSpot made a free PDF that covers not only how to conquer multitasking, but also how to become more productive as a whole, which can then be implemented at work, at home, and especially if you work at home. This HubSpot guide will help boost your morning motivation and help you knock out your to-do list with less stress-induced headaches. It includes practical productivity tips and tricks like using the Pomodoro technique, choosing specific foods to eat, and how to crush procrastination. Personally, I can attest to the Pomodoro technique since I use it on a daily basis, or to crank out these scripts which take me hours to make. Working on your productivity skills is like learning more about credit cards. With all of that newly learned information, you could then go out and perform better or get more value. So if you want to experience a less stressful and more efficient lifestyle, click on the link or pinned comment below to download the free guide from HubSpot. And speaking about productivity, you know what's not productive? When you pay for your credit cards. Well, let me clarify, because rule number 4 is if it's costing you money to use your credit card, you're doing it all wrong. Credit cards should be paying you to use them. Yes, technically with annual fees, it is costing you money to use that credit card, but let's break that down a little bit. A lot of credit card advice that you find on the internet states that if you won't receive some sort of positive value from the credit card, don't get it. This tip alone could help you turn, let's say, a $700 annual fee Amex Platinum card to a card that gives you net $100 to $300 of positive value every year. It's kind of a stretch to say credit cards pay you, because that's not entirely true. At the end of the day, you still have to pay $700 in cash up front every year to keep a card like the Amex Platinum. A better analogy though is like you're paying $700 for an Amazon gift card that has a value of $1,000 on it. That's exactly how you want to treat your annual fee credit card. It should not be the other way around, like paying $1,000 for an annual fee on a credit card only to receive $700 back in value. The same goes for any annual fee card, where you should be finding a way to receive positive value, or at least close to positive value, every year that you hold on to it. You should never be holding onto a card that is just burning a hole in your wallet. So just remember, if a card is costing money to use it, maybe you should downgrade or switch to another credit card product entirely. The final rule of today is that cashback is not definitively better than points, and points is not definitively better than cash back. I guess this isn't really a rule, but more of a mindset thing maybe. We're all too familiar with team cashback and team points, but can there be a team hybrid as well? Redeeming points is such a subjective topic, and I don't think it's fair to say one is better than the other. There are times and instances when points are better, and there are times and instances when cashback is better. It's as simple as that. In fact, some of you might routinely routinely redeem for both throughout the year. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I still wanted to address it in this video. Can't there be a world where both are great? We're all still credit card users at the end of the day, right? I bet most of you out there are Team Points, so to give Team Cash Back a chance, I would recommend you watch this video right here. Maybe there are some points made there where you could see the argument for their side. Pun intended. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Shoots.